Hey everyone. So this is going to be unscripted. Hopefully, I could bring some perspective to you all by sharing part of my story surrounding alcohol and beer. So something's been stirring in my heart for a long time now to share kind of my story, my perspective on alcohol and how it's impacted me, my relationships. Um, and how I got to where I am today. And it took a lot of work. Um, so I started drinking when I was about 14, 15 years old. I'm the second youngest of 7 kids, and all my older siblings were drinking, partying. So I tagged along and I partied and drank just with them. Um, and I soon realized, didn't realize at the time, but I was drinking to get drunk. Okay, that phrase, let's get wasted tonight, we're gonna get trashed. These sayings, like, this was a literal thing for us, for me, my friends, for years. Every single weekend, that's all we look forward to, part of our lifestyle. And to be completely honest, it was a complete waste of time, waste of my life, waste of my energy. And I used to throw the biggest house parties back down south. When we moved down south to Arkansas, we brought the partying down there. And one of the turning points was one of the house parties that I threw. One of my best friends at that time, left the house party and got into a car wreck, and blacked out, and we couldn't find him. We were just so worried for him. Thank God that he didn't get injured or anything, but man, like, just think about what could have happened. He could have lost his life. There's so many, stories about drunk drivers getting killed or killing other people because of their recklessness. And I found myself like finding ownership to some of that. So that was kind of a big turning point. And then to realize that I could have been responsible for one of my friend's death, potential death from his drunk driving, which he came to my house. I provided the alcohol, got him trashed, got him wasted. And I'm not the only one. I mean, there's so many people out there, right, who just throw parties and irresponsibly just have people get trashed, and then everyone leaves on their way, and I'm worried for anyone out there who's doing that or still doing that. I hope that everyone who does drink is responsible. So let me get down to the point. A pivotal point was when I met my wife at that time. She's not a drinker, and I wanted her to be my girlfriend. Like, I wanted to keep her. I didn't want to lose her, and she had to go through a lot. I put her through a ton because I went out to the bars, I went out to the clubs, drinking without her, and I'd come back home, or I'd come back to see her, and I was just wasted or drunk, smelled like alcohol and reeked, and I know I put her through a lot. And, I was a bad boy, back then, smoking, drinking, partying, just really careless, really careless. And my wife at that time really was able to be an influence or a game changer for me, because she didn't drink and I wanted her to be in my life. So it was either her or my lifestyle, and she didn't give me an ultimatum. I just knew, because of what I put her through and what I saw that she went through, because there was a lot of nights of tears, that she had. And of course, growing up also in a Christian home, like, that's drinking is not good, or being in that type of environment and living your lifestyle like that um, it just no help to spiritual growth, you know. Um, so that combined, of course, I think God sent an angel down to save me, and that was my wife, you know. Um, and I stopped completely. I stopped drinking for years, you know. And I remember the first time I went back up to hang out with my friends up north. Um, I remember like going to a house party because that's what they did. Okay, they were still partying, and one of my buddies, he handed me a drink, and like I didn't take it. I was like, no, you know. And my wife was watching me to see how I would respond, and they both looked at me like, what? Like, this is not David. This is not the David I know. Like, he takes a drink. He's the first one drinking, and he's the one who actually initiates drinking, or taking shots or shotgunning or chugging. But I wasn't, and this threw them off, and it was something so strange and so foreign to both parties, because I've never said no to them before, and they've never seen me say no or not have a drink. So, man, that was just it was just really awkward. At the same time, it was really challenging. Yeah, it was really challenging for me to say no to my best friends, to not drink. And then coming back, coming back, I mean, my friends realized that, there's a lot. The bad thing about drinking is that there is a respect component that comes with drinking. If you don't take my drink, you're disrespecting me, okay? In our culture, and probably, I don't know, I think a lot of even Western cultures, but Eastern, especially Asian cultures that we grew up in, if you don't take the drink that's offered to you, it's a sign of disrespect, So that was part of a battle that I had to go through and learn through. And there was a lot of conflict, guys. There was a lot of, man, am I going to lose my friends because I don't drink anymore? Like, there was a lot of those questions being raised at that time, and it's sad, but that's the truth to a lot of people, is that would you still be friends if there was no drinking involved, And thank God, my true friends, we grew, and we did not grow apart, or in terms of like our relationship still stayed the same. But there was a lot of growth in those years to deepen our growth in our relationships with our friends, to be able to accept that, man, this guy like doesn't drink anymore, but we still want him to be our friends. Like, we still want his presence, and I still want to be their friends. And so there was a lot of that going on through the years when I had stopped drinking. And then the last time that, like, so fast forward, was our wedding night, my wife and I's wedding night. At this point, I'm pretty much no longer drinking. But at my wedding, I made an announcement like, guys, I'm just gonna, take one shot, and I'm not gonna get drunk at my wedding, okay? And I announced it, and it didn't go well, because I had brother-in-laws who came in town. I had cousins, and a lot of people respected me for that wish, And then some others still had the mentality of, he's gonna take my drink, if I give it to him. So I was challenged with that, and I got drunk on my wedding night, and I got wasted, and it was probably one of the most biggest regrets of kind of that time period, was getting drunk on my wedding night and blacking out, because it was a beautiful wedding. I just didn't walk out of there I wasn't able to walk out. I had, people had to carry me out, you know. And I broke my wife's heart, you know, my wedding night, you know, like I broke my wife's heart on our wedding night, and so that's like a piece of me, that piece that will live on forever, and something that, you know, I will have to continue to make up for the rest of my life, you know, make up to her for the rest of our lives together, you know, and so I vowed from that day on, like I won't get drunk again, you know, like. So I've never been drunk. I've not been drunk since our wedding night, and it took a lot of discipline, and I'm thankful that my friends have respected and honored my wish, you know, to not push or to not pressure me to drink. A lot of my cousins and in-laws have now recognized that. As well, and they've been very respectful for that, and so my challenge for me is just, you know, now that I'm over that hump, I've been starting to slowly accept drinks and get back into kind of the drinking culture. Although I haven't gotten drunk, I've been drinking more, you know, and it's scary because I can see myself falling right back into getting drunk again, you know, and so there's a fine line, you know, that needs to happen. There's a fine line there, but there's a lot of boundaries that I need to put in place to prevent that from happening. So it's at this point, it's my own ownership of that, and especially as adults, we all, like if you're 30 to 40 years old, 50, like we all have the strength, we all have the will, we all have it in our own power to be in control of how much we drink, you know? And so, for one thing, I think being drunk makes us act like foolish people. You know, we do really stupid things, we get into fights. You know, when I was drinking, and my wife at the time, we got into fights every time we drink. You know, every single time we drink, we got into fights. You know, and you know, we both realized that, you know, drinking is a problem. Like, do we want to keep drinking, or do we want to just work on our relationship? You know, which one's better? And we realized that drinking was not worth, you know, the cost of our relationship, because we cared for it. So a lot of young couples out there, like if you guys are listening and watching, like really, like a lot of times, if you guys think back of when you guys get into fights, and if you guys are still going out all the time and drinking, like just think about it. It's probably because of those times you guys are drinking and going out, you know, that are getting you guys into fights. So if you guys really, really, truly value your relationship, I pray and my message for you is to stop going out and stop drinking. Okay, the club is for single people. Okay, when you're married, you're with a significant other, like you don't need to go clubbing anymore. Okay, if you want to go play pool, go play pool. You know, you want to go dancing, go to a dance class, go to I don't know, some of those swing classes. Okay, you know, because clubbing is for single people, and then drinking to get trashed. It's probably one of the most foolish things that you can do as adults, in my opinion, because honestly, our judgment, like our morals go down the drain, our judgment goes down the drain, and it's anything goes, you know. And so, I guess my lesson for you all is, you know, the lesson here is that drinking can be positive when we drink responsibly, you know. But the hard thing is that when you're with a set of friends that drink often and drink all the time, it's hard to control. And honestly, it's hard to control because of the culture that's there. So sometimes it's better to not drink at all, you know. Um, and so the point that I'm really getting here at is, that first of all, I'm appreciative of all my friends and all my family who respect my decision to not drink or to not have as many drinks as them. Like if we're on vacation and we're like in Mexico or something, like I'll sip on a mixed drink, but I'm not gonna get wasted. I'm not gonna get hammered. And I think my friends and family who understand that, and I think that's where a lot of us need to be at. That's where I hope that a lot of my friends and people my age and older can get to, is a place of responsible drinking to where we're not getting trashed. We're still in control of ourselves. We can still have a drink, like a mixed drink, or hold on and sip on a beer. And I've learned that, I used to look down on drinking so much. When I stopped completely drinking, like, there was so much anger. There was so much anger towards drinking because of what it did, what it caused, and the relationships that were almost broken because of me being able to stop drinking, or me not drinking anymore. So there was a lot of anger and frustration that came with that. but um, but my encouragement to you all is that work hard at it, be consistent at it, and sometimes you got to change your friends. You got to not go out as much. You got to change your friends, change your environment if you want long-term change, because if all your friends are drinking, it's going to be extremely hard for you not to drink if you're still hanging out with them on a daily basis. That goes for smoking, that goes for smoking weed, that goes for whatever you're battling. And so I being able to isolate myself from some of my close friends for a while, like I had to do that. I had to do that because that's just the sacrifice that I had to make in order for me to grow, to be where I'm at today. So a lot of you, I think that's the sacrifice and the choice that you guys have to make. I hope that, as the group or the peers or the cohort that you've grown up with can realize that and work on that together, which I'm seeing with my friends. Finally, now that, we're hanging out, they're realizing that, man, we can't be drinking the same, or we have to respect each other's wishes here and work on it together. So I'm so thankful for that, that my friends group has been able to respect and honor that, and been able to work for each other and encourage each other, to grow, and not be stuck at where they're at, or if they're having battles with alcohol or smoking, that we just help encourage each other. So I don't know. Hopefully, one of those things spoke to you guys, spoke to one of you guys, and hopefully that you can implement some kind of change. There's that saying of show me your 5 closest friends, and I'll show you your future. And so there you go. If your best friends are drinking and smoking, that's your future. It's drinking and smoking. The best friends are, heading for a path of growth, success, and, empowerment, professionally, individually. That's where you're heading. So thankfully, a lot of my close friends are heading that way together, which I'm so happy for. Where we're encouraging each other, we're supporting each other professionally, individually, and understanding that our weaknesses, and how we can encourage each other. So I hope that you will get surrounded with friends who are encouraging. If there's toxic friends or friends who are doing things that are outside your comfort or where you don't see yourself fitting in anymore, then it's okay. It's okay to remove yourself from those and find a new community who fit your values and goals. And you're gonna always have those friends. Like I don't think they're gonna kick you out or look down on you, and I hope they don't. If they do look down on you for you trying to better yourself, then they're not true friends, you know. So I hope one of these resonates, and I hope that you can find some kind of empowerment or some kind of encouragement through this process. And I'd love to like talk to you or anyone who is having struggles with like some of these issues, you know, because I know it's tough. You know. So anyway, hope you guys all have a fantastic night, and I'll be talking to you guys soon again. All right. God bless. Bye bye.